You know, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in entertainment, reality TV, entrepreneurship, real estate, and of course, Big Brother. Nick Durst here, along with Joe Calabrese. Joe, I think our guest today checks most of those boxes.
I think she does. And what's amazing is that of all the people who have been requested to be on this show, especially from former Big Brother house guests, she has been our most requested guest of all time. So we finally get to have her on, finally able to have her. We welcome Angela Murray to the show. Angela, good afternoon here in New York over here. Good morning over there. How are you doing today?
Absolutely great. Thank you so much. That's crazy.
Already, everyone, since you were on the show, everyone's saying, "Is Angela coming out? Is Angela coming out?" We finally got it to happen. 18 months later, making it happen. Of course, we got to meet Angela down at Over the Edge Celebrity Weekend, and that was awesome. And the fans went crazy for Angela, that's for sure. More on that a little later on. But Angela, I know you're very busy, obviously, so I'm curious, what's the first app you check on your phone every day?
Ooh, probably Facebook. I'm old.
I like it. Facebook's still the place to be, and if you want to connect with your family and stuff. So,
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
inner
I don't do
circle.
Twitter very much. And then I guess it would be Instagram and then TikTok.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So you're originally, now you're in Utah, but originally you were in Long Beach, California, right?
hmm
So talk
Yeah.
about talk about being born and growing up there.
So yes, I was born in Long Beach, California. I went to Jordan High School, a little bit of Polytech. Just met my husband there. Our families knew each other. So it just kind of, we grew up in a small, I guess it was kind of like a small town to us. And, we got married there, had our first few children there, and then the rest is history.
So talk about having a nice, big, amazing family. What was it like having your kids grow up, individually, and what were the holidays like?
Our holidays are kind of unique because Chuck and I are anything but ordinary. So every Christmas we plan modified Survivor Big Brother Minute to Win It games.
Ooh.
And so they have to work for their prizes and their presents. And they actually prefer that. And I do too. So the minute they wake up, they open up a few gifts and then we are going full bore into playing these modified games. I mean, right down to building like these fishing rod sticks with all the same materials for everybody and having to grab the lock with a candy cane. I mean, you name it, we are playing games and we rack up the points and at the end there's all these prize bags that they bid on. Like we do all of that kind of fun thing with our kids. And as they've gotten older, we continue to play games every Christmas. We've gone as far now as to do scavenger hunts where they're getting into their cars and they have to accomplish all of these different tasks. It's just a great time.
No disrespect. It seems like we were born into the wrong family, Nick. So evidently you guys all grew up on the whole Survivor, the Big Brother, the whole.
Oh yeah.
So do you watch any other reality TV? Because this came up in conversation that we've had with you. We're into very much the Real Housewives series. We're friends with some of the people from the Real Housewives in New Jersey. We've had
Yeah.
some people on from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Was it ever realistic for you to be a housewife of Orange County?
Well, I know a couple of them.
Mhm.
But no, I didn't want that kind of intrusion into my household at that time. Of course, I was raising four teenagers at once, and our house was very chaotic.
Just
And
so
then running a
shut up.
business with my husband, it would have been, I would never have been able to fit that
Oh,
in.
she was a
And
pig. Mm.
very intrusive. So, no, thank you. And then, we came here to Utah. Things slowed down just a little bit for us. And I love the shows. I love the franchise. I love the women, and I enjoy very much watching the show.
Mhm. So
All of them.
Angela, it sounds like you'd be open to being a real housewife of Salt Lake City, but I don't know if they could keep up with you, those other ladies, because
Oh,
you're gonna keep it
those
real.
women would have something come in because they couldn't handle all this over
No,
here. But
I know.
I
I think
enjoy.
Mary Cosby'd have a bit of an issue. Lisa Barlow would find out there's a new queen bee in Salt Lake City, so we'll see. But
Oh, nobody could trump them. Nobody can
we're
trump
good
them.
friends with Seth Marks, so I think we got to see this. Angela, Salt Lake City housewife. What do you think, Joe?
You
Oh,
never
absolutely.
know.
I think she would be amazing.
Yep.
She's already amazing television. I think that
I
a little
know.
foray into something else, I think it would be great.
Well, talk to us, Angela, about you had the business in Orange County, right? So talk to us about the move to Utah. What happened? Just got sick of the sunshine all the time. You wanted to see some snow?
Lord, no. I miss it every day.
Mm.
Um, but the rat race was getting crazy. I mean, prices,
Yeah.
inflation, everything. When you start thinking about long term and retirement, our dollar was never going to stretch that far. We would have had to work into our 70s probably. Even now, like even in the last 5, 6 years with inflation, there's just no way. So we definitely sat down and just kind of drew out a plan about selling real estate that we had down there and how far that dollar might stretch in another state. And so that's just what we did. We just kind of maximized all of our assets and sold them at the right time just before COVID. And we moved to this little small suburb of Salt Lake City. And from here, we were both going to retire. But sitting at home and watching my husband micromanage housework that I was doing, it was like, no way. I need to get back into the workforce and do something for myself. And so at 48, 47, 48, I decided that I was going to become a licensed real estate agent here in Utah. That was very scary because everything is so different here than any other state. All states are a little different when it comes to real estate. And I got my license, passed the test pretty quickly, and just flew. I just flew. I got my wings and just flew, and it was just wonderful. So we're here. Chuck is he tinkers around in the garage, and he does this whole. He's got a new little business going where it's buy sell trade commercial equipment. So he stays busy. I'm staying busy with the real estate and any other little things that get thrown my way or that I go after because I'm a firm believer of go after what you want in life because we do not get a redo.
Well, we have that in common. I'm licensed in New York here. Currently working, scheduling the test for New Jersey, so hopefully I can cover the whole Northeast region. Angela, have you ever considered getting licensed in any of the other states around you, just strictly Utah? And for people who are kind of either breaking into the business, do you have any strategies and tips?
So I have thought about it because I border not too far into Idaho and also Wyoming. So and also I think I have to you know look into that a little more to see where that market might take me. I've been really busy, with the whole reality TV stuff, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon with that. So going into another
Has
state right
anybody
now.
gone to one of your listings just because of who you are from reality TV?
Yes, it's a
Of
Ah,
waste of my
course.
time. Stop
yeah.
it. Stop it now. I get calls, and thank goodness there's a new law that I can't really show homes unless they sign. Obviously, I don't know if that's happening in New York, but here in Utah, we have to have them sign a contract that I can show them homes, and I have to have proof that they have funds to be able to purchase a home.
Right.
So
Pre-approval on the
it's not as
mortgage, all that
easy.
stuff. Makes
Yeah, but
sense.
right when I got back, I had certainly my share of fandom that wanted to, and
Imposters.
I was like, what? I'm at that times too, I was still blown out of the water because I just freshly got home
Right.
and just didn't realize the fandom of Big Brother. I thought I was the only fan. How naive of me.
So what made you decide to apply? Did your children encourage it, your husband, or was it all you? And what was the decision like between you and your husband to say, okay, you're gonna have to be in charge of the household here. I'm actually gonna do this. It looks like it's gonna happen.
Well, as we talked about earlier, we're all fans of everything reality TV. I can't believe how many reality TV shows that I watch, but I do. I'm just very guilty. That's my guilty pleasure. So, Big Brother was always something I personally loved very, very much. My family didn't share that love with me. So, I'd sit and watch that one, usually alone. Sometimes somebody'd walk in the room, whatever. But that was my love. But when my kids were younger and we had a business, to leave the house for potentially 90 days just didn't seem like it was in the cards for me. There was just too much on the table. So I would try for Survivor because, hey, I could do 29, 30 days. So I would try for Survivor. Again, I have a love for that game as well. And got close, but never got on. Then I decided later on when my kids got a little older, maybe I'll try for a big brother again. I can leave now.
Hmm.
And so I tried for a few years and wasn't hearing back. So
Stunning.
then I was like, you know what? My son is big and strong. Let's try for Amazing Race. And then we got pretty far on that too, but didn't get the show. Then I was like, you know what? I was turning 50. Now, this is a year later. I'm turning 50. If not now, then when? If not me, then who is what I always say. And I wanted it more than ever. I was 50 years young. I had it in my DNA, it was in my core. I felt that fire, that rumble in my gut that it was my time to be on Big Brother. And I thought, what can I do to really stand out? And why are they not calling me? Why is Big Brother never calling me back? So I got really raw and honest with myself. And I just started scribbling on paper all these bullet points of things that I've encountered in my life, things I've overcome, the kind of person that I am, who I would most likely be on the show, which no, none of that happened. When you get there, it takes on a world of
Well,
its
I think
own.
the
But to
key
answer your
was you
question,
turned 50 because at that then you hit the typecast. They're like, we have to get a 50-year-old who's better than
Right.
Angela.
and so to answer your question about my husband, he very early on when we first got married at the young age of 18, he knew he was never going to tame me. He said that out loud. He said, "You are a wild woman and I'm never going to tame you." And I've said, "You've got that right, or you're marrying the wrong woman." So he's never ever stopped me in any of my endeavors, dreams, or goals. He's always just been there as my sidekick. Just, and I'm his sidekick, by the way, just encouraging, we encourage one another to go after things because, again, as I said, our lives aren't a rehearsal. We don't get a do-over, so we need to live an unreal life, whatever that means to anybody. It may not be reality TV for everybody. It could be the job, the car, the outfit, the trip, whatever it is for somebody. Don't sit idle, like go after it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What was your biggest surprise about being on the show? Because obviously it's recorded on a house on a studio lot, so there's always access to the backyard, the lighting, and all that stuff. So, what was particularly your biggest surprise? And I think Big Brother 26, from a super fan's perspective, and the fact that we host this show, one of the best of all time. Great mix of personalities, diversity, competition beasts, strategies. Obviously, you hit all those boxes as well. So, what was your biggest surprise, and where would you actually rank your season among the ones that you got to watch or all time?
I think my biggest surprise is being naive to the fact that I was going to be living with strangers. And I never went to college. I went to um, city college. So I never was in a dorm situation where you have to deal with all of these different types of personalities. I'm a very much so an extrovert and a people person, but those, even though that house is large, it is very close quarters. And it's funny how um, diverse it is and how people start to find their cliques within the house. Like, I never gave everybody access to who I was, and not everybody gave access to who they really were in the house to me. It was just funny how we gravitated towards certain personality types and that we built these friendships. Some were more deeper than others, and you could tell how some people would just give you surface level stuff. So I found that very funny being in those quarters like that, that it was so divided. And I guess that's why we love Big Brother because we want those personalities to clash. We want people to feel like shady with one another. So I never really gave any well, not I did give some people access to who I am, but not everybody, and the same vice versa. And I think the thing that was really hard is when you talked about the yard. The yard is closed sometimes for 4 days. I mean, there was one time I think it was almost 5 days and you just are only in the house. And I did not expect that. And I'm very much so an outdoorsy person. I love grass, trees, plants, all those things. And being in the Big Brother house, you don't have access to that. So I would sit in the back of the yard furthest or closest to the house so that I could see the real trees above the 20 something foot fence. That was kind of hard on me, I think, for everybody, especially the people that are outdoorsy. Sorry, I totally, oh, the last part of that. As a big fan of the show, I have to rank us right there at top five
Definitely.
because
Absolutely. I
they
absolutely.
did they did amazing. And I'm not being biased. I really
No, no,
have
no. It was
watched
unbelievable
it
television.
back. And every
It,
single
it was an
person that they
all-time it
cast
was an
was
all-time
perfect.
it was an all-time cast. I say this to all of your fellow house guests. When you have a season where you have not only you, but also Tucker together. Solo, you guys could have carried a season, but you put the two of you in a house together. Plus, Chelsea's an incredible personality. Quinn, Joseph, all-time casting.
Everyone.
Bravo to the cast.
Everyone. I am not going to be biased at all with that because I truly believe every single person on the season, whether we got along or not, were so instrumental to making it what it
Right.
was. Everybody played a beautiful role, and how they came in, how they went out, all of it, everything in between. Just it was just beautifully. It was harmony. It was
It
great.
was great harmony, especially with you off the jump. We don't have to touch on this too much, but I just want to say, Crazy Eyes is an amazing nickname, and the fact that Matt didn't go make merch after that and give you royalties is a big screw up because that was incredible. I
Well,
supported
listen,
that.
that's mine. Crazy Eyes is mine. I may have said that, but it came from me.
It came from you, but
It
nobody
cannot
made merch
brand
off of
him.
it.
It
So
doesn't brand him. It is mine. It is mine alone. And I know that he may use it on his whatever he puts out there in the world. But Crazy Eyes is
it
mine.
was incredible. I
No?
loved it. We all loved it. One of the all-time moments in Big Brother history.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Now, you talked about relationships that you formed and special bonds and people opening up. There was someone you opened up with a lot. That was Tucker. Do you regret not trusting Tucker? Because I thought you and Tucker were just going to trade head of households till the very end and be the final two.
I would have loved that, to be honest with you. I would have loved that. That was my goal. That was my dream. Um, Leah as well, Mackenzie. I wanted us all to go to the end. Now, here's the thing that maybe a lot of people don't understand is that you know that Tucker was the instigator. He
Yep.
got that special power to do that. Well, he was going around the house telling people that he thought it was me. So
Mm.
we broke trust there. He was going around putting this target on my back that I was the instigator, that he thought that I was the instigator. And when I learned this from several people and not bringing it to his attention ever, which I wish I had, um, it there was where trust was broke because I knew he was already forming a relationship with three other people that was looked stronger than what he and I had. And he spent a lot of time with them. And I didn't want to come between that at all because we had something, right? Fully believe that. But when you have different people from different groups coming to tell you that he's telling people that he thinks you're the instigator, that to me broke trust. And he was putting a target on my back.
Mhm.
So there was no more Mother Tucker after that because I felt betrayed. And so it
Yeah.
was my demise, honestly, to go to a group of people, especially a certain somebody that I shouldn't have trusted for a third time, and said, he's on the block. It's now or never kind of situation. It probably won't happen again. And that was my bad because the house was smart enough to know that Tucker is a very strong competitor and that he was going to go very far in the game, if not win it all, if they didn't take the opportunity to get him out of the house at that point, because there wouldn't probably not have been another time. So I didn't even need to say anything, but I shot myself in the foot again,
Yeah.
typical Angela.
All
So,
right.
I didn't start that. That was
All right.
unfortunate
Well,
that
good.
that
Nice to hear your
happened.
perspective because I never
Yeah.
never heard that before. So that definitely clarifies some
Yeah.
stuff because watching it as a viewer, like, well, he literally kept himself on the block to save you, and then it
For
was like,
me. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So,
And you
but
know what? I don't know that he intentionally, now knowing Tucker even further outside of the house, I don't know that intentionally he was trying to paint a target on my back or just get it off of his. So
right.
I think that he would have probably carried me even further because even after he found out that I was going to like try and get people to rally against him, he wanted me to stay. He was like going to
Right.
T-Core being like, let's not put her on the block because he was very emotionally upset for 2 days because of it. He couldn't believe that I said that. And honestly, now I can't believe it,
Yeah.
knowing the man that he is and
Overall,
that
he's
he
a
is
great
somebody
guy.
of his
He's a great.
Yes.
he is, and he sticks to his word, and he does love me, and I love him, and we have a good relationship outside of the game, and I'm
Fantastic.
thankful to have met him.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, your family was huge fans. They must have been going crazy watching you every day. But what was it like? You get home, what was your family's reaction to the show? And when did you realize, because you mentioned this earlier, that you actually did become such a big cultural icon and that Big Brother was as big as it is?
So I think for Leah and I, going into that bar at the finale party was the realization that just kind of smacked us in the face in the best way possible. We walked through the backyard area of this bar and we were just hit with fandom and people shouting our names. And we had this overwhelming warmth go through us of, is this real life? Like, did this really happen? I didn't realize it spanned outside of that party, but it clearly did. Excuse me. And I think for me personally, I just, I had no idea. I had none. I really didn't. Again, like I said earlier, I felt like I'm the only fan of Big Brother because I was really the only one that watched it in my household. But my family clearly have become huge fans. And coming home, I've had such a warm welcoming everywhere I go. I'm sure to brush my hair and at least put on something decent
You
because
never
I
know.
run into people that know who I am. And even if they don't say it to my face, I get a DM later. I
Uh,
saw you, but I
and
didn't want to interrupt your
everyone was
dinner.
you for Halloween in
I
2024 as well.
know. That was
Crazy.
huge for me. That was so humbling and so wonderful. And I'm like, how is this 51-year-old woman at the time having these young 20 something year olds
Yeah.
care about me and like me? That was completely humbling and completely wonderful. Honestly, my life has been made. Outside of my family, it already was, but outside of my family, my life is made. I
Yeah.
feel like I made it, and it's very cool. And I didn't
Absolutely.
go on to the show. Or any of the shows I've been on for fandom, for numbers on social media
You went to
platforms.
win.
As you see,
What? That's
I'm
right.
very humble on those platforms. I don't post a whole lot. I just post when I feel like it. And it's okay to me that I don't grow in that way because those numbers don't matter. It matters the love and the embrace of the people that I meet every day that love me. And I'm
Absolutely.
so lucky. I'm so lucky.
Yeah. So last reality question from me as we'll start to wrap here. So you get the call for the Amazing Race finally. And
Yeah.
what was your reaction to that? And how did you just decide ultimately which child you wanted to take with you on the show?
Well, I think they really wanted the dynamic of mother daughter. And I have three daughters. And so two of them are in their mommy eras. So that left Lexi. And I knew that she is probably my wild and closest to my personality type, if you will. My girls all have a little bit of me, but Lexi has probably a lot of the wild side. And she was a single girl that could do it. So she was easily a good option for sure. And she wanted to do it. So that's another thing. You have to want to do something like that. That's a big endeavor. That's huge. And I think also the producers really loved the idea of Lexi, and so because she was game, we went for it. And this wasn't something that was just kind of handed to us. We really did have to earn our spot. There were
Mm,
several other mother daughter duos that
wow.
were up for the part for sure. Not the part, but the
The role.
the
The
role of
spot.
getting to go on
Yeah.
the Amazing
Hard to
Race.
believe, Joe, that they had
And
any other candidates but Angela.
No,
yeah,
absolutely
well,
not.
there were plenty. And we had to cut through a lot of red tape, a lot of Zoom calls in person with all of the production to make sure that we were a good fit for it. So
Now,
we went through all of that.
hypothetically, let's say you two went further along. Were you gonna
Yeah.
work with Chelsea and Tucker since you knew them? Would that was that in the back of your mind? You know, they're not gonna do us wrong on the U-turns and all that. We won't do them but wrong.
So no, I think that going into the situation, we didn't know it was an all Big Brother thing until it was really an all Big Brother thing, and it was right in our face. I think from that moment when Lexi and I we saw everybody, there with Phil. It was like, what are we doing? We're gonna maybe need to rely on some people here and there. I think immediately I felt a draw to Izzy. I felt a draw to Kat and Alex. I felt a draw to a few other people, but I didn't really think that. And I know you've watched the first episode. Tucker was already throwing a little bit of fun shade at me. So for sure, I didn't think that we were going to be able to work together. And plus, I knew he'd always be ahead of the pack. He just would. He and Eric are very athletic and
Uh,
strategic.
well,
So I knew
listen,
that,
Tucker's
and
great,
Chelsea
but
too.
everyone knows we better gang up on Tucker and get him out before the end of the show because he's gonna win. That's what happened to him and Eric on Amazing Race. So Same thing as
Well, I really did think Tucker and his brother were going to win the whole thing, and
we all
by
did.
all rights, they could have, and they should have. They could have, and they should have. And I wish there could be two winners. I wish Jack and his brother, and Tucker and his brother. I wish there could have been two winners. That would have been great.
Well, you guys made for an amazing season of The Amazing Race. We loved it here. Big shout out to Lexi. We met her down in Orlando as well. She's in Vegas. I got family out in Vegas. You guys were electric, unbelievable people to
Lexi,
meet in
very
person.
humble. She's like,
Very
I'm not a
humble.
reality star. I'm just, my
She's a
mom's
lot of
daughter.
fun. A
So
lot of fun though. And we
She
definitely know
is.
where she gets
you
that.
two are the life of the party, that's for sure. So,
Thank
Angela,
you.
last thing for me here. What in your life or your career or anything with reality TV has been your you know I'm right moment? What I mean by that, a time or place where you wanted to pursue something, you asked somebody for advice. That person said, Angela, sounds like a bad idea. Don't do it. And you said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. And in the end, you will see why it is that I'm right about this. And I can tell you, I told you so.
You know what? I don't think, and this is probably weird to hear, but I don't think anybody that truly knows me in my life has ever told me not to do something because they know I'm going to do it anyway. And that it's going to put more fire beneath my ass to want to do it even more. And to have that I told you so. There isn't anybody in my life that has ever held me back or discouraged me from doing something. So I can't answer that. I've probably been my own worst enemy when it comes to going after things. We all have that self doubt. We all have that. How could it be me? Blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I think if we just talk, oops, sorry, I'm holding my phone up. If we talk to ourselves that way, we believe those things. So I always try to push that back and always think positive that I can do it and I will do it.
Very good. That's the first time I think we've ever gotten that answer on here. So we're very, very happy that you were able to join us, Angela. Thank you again. My last question. You are certainly an
Yeah,
all-star. If they came calling for another all-star season, would you go back into the Big Brother house?
without hesitation. Yeah, of course.
Yes! All right.
Absolutely.
Well, we
The
can't
question
wait
is,
for
is she
that.
going to work with Tucker, though? Because they'll both be on the show.
Oh, yeah,
Of course
absolutely.
I would. Of course I would. I
Absolutely.
love him. Yeah.
We can't wait to see that. Shout out Tucker. Again, he's a great friend of ours. We love him. Got to hang out with him a bunch of times here in New York as well. But Angela, once again, we thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Best of luck moving forward with everything with you and your family.
Yeah, go
We'll
sell some
certainly be
Thank
following
you.
houses.
up. Go sell some homes. Again, maybe I'll reach out to you a couple of weeks from now, get some tips for the spring here in New York. But we always give our guests the last words. So if there's anything else you would personally like to share or even promote for yourself on top of everything we already talked about, by all means, please go ahead. Where can we find you?
Thank you. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I I would just want to say because Big Brother is throwing out casting again. They start in February for accepting submissions. If you've ever thought about being on Big Brother, I mean, I don't care your personality type. They are looking for everybody to fit that intricate puzzle piece. I can
Hmm.
imagine it now. I can see the offices of the Big Brother where they are pinning up all the photos of the people that have submitted and just trying to put together this beautiful puzzle. um, just go after it. Go after it because you never ever know. So don't hold yourself back. Again, you only live this one life. Please live an unreal one and do go after and do what you want. Um, as far as anything that I'm doing right now, I am a real estate agent here in Northern Utah. I would love to help whoever is looking for a home. Reach out to me through my social media handles. Also, you can find me on Cameo. I love doing those. Valentine's Day is coming up and they are so much fun. Let me tell the person you love you have crazy eyes for them or whatever. Like, let's just have some
So
fun
good.
there. I'm
Oh, it's
always
so
really
good.
having a great time on there.
All right, Angela, this has been
Thanks,
fantastic. We thank you
guys.
so much for your time. Hello,
Thank you.
special
Hello.
guest
Oh,
next to you.
sorry,
No, all
granddaughter.
good. All good. All good.
All right. All right, that's going to do it here for this episode of You Know I'm Right for our very special guest, the legendary Angela Murray, who will be back on your TV screen soon. I guarantee it. And my co-host, Joe Calabrese. I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.